Political crisis in Rivers State may be thawing gradually as Governor Siminalayi Fubara has invited the embattled 27 members of the State House of Assembly for discussion by way of putting the interests of the state first. In a letter by the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Tami Danagogo, addressed to the Speaker, Martins Amewule, he stated that the Governor's action was in obedience to the recent Supreme Court judgment on the political crisis in the state. The Supreme Court had last Monday stopped the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Accountant General of the Federation from releasing any funds from the Federation account to Rivers State until an appropriation law was made by the Rivers State Assembly. The governor is said to have received a certified true copy of the Apex Court judgment, and on Friday, through his SSG, invited the lawmakers to chart a way forward for the state. The letter stated that the invitation was in furtherance of the governor's promise, noting that he had received the Supreme Court judgment. Right, CTC is out now, Rufai.
Yeah.
And Dr. Bati. And of course, right from the very beginning, Governor Fubara had maintained that he was going to respect the rulings of the Supreme Court, which, like I already opined, that the fact that we're celebrating that in itself is worrying. That should be the natural thing that should happen. The court judgment is given, the governor ought to obey it. But we know what's happened in recent times. What do you take on this story this morning?
I took our time to read Professor Chidi Odinkalu's review of the judgment, and these were his points this morning. You know, he's a legal mind, and he has read through the CTC. He said, ordering the central bank to withhold Rivers State share of the Federation account is best as a rogue order that punishes the people for a dispute between politicians. It violates the maxim that equity regards the beneficiary as the true owner. Their right to share of the Federation is antecedent to and independent and unconnected with the dispute in this case. Being aware, another point, of the ongoing litigation on the legal consequence of the defection of a Maoli faction of the House, the Supreme Court short-circuited a contingent appellate process and issued this position on a dispute that was neither before it nor necessary up for determination of issues that it was called upon to decide. In doing so, the court chose to, with a touch of injudicious shamelessness, accept the invitation to take sides. Another point, the Supreme Court announced a revolutionary jurisprudence in the judicial fly, claiming that where there is a dispute, a defection, the legislature can be the only one. Only the legislature can declare a seat vacant for defection and not the governor of the state. Not even the courts can do so. It takes a heedless audacity for an apex court to castrate the judiciary. That's the apex courts, this is exactly what the courts did. What this court did is in line with, that's what the court did. The line is, that's exactly what the court did with this line in italics. When the Supreme Court laid out the contrary principle in 2015, it was by a panel of 7 justices. So I think this really aggregates the concerns a lot of people have had about this judgment. With this letter, some clarity I would just want to seek. Is it that the case at the Federal High Court for the determination of what will constitute defection will be pushed down? Is it that the lawmakers, all of a sudden, that at first threatened impeachment, will shake their sword? Will Fubara be able to buy them to his side? Do you think these lawmakers, all of a sudden, will stop being loyal to Governor Wike that had gone with them on this journey and all of a sudden be loyal to Fubara in the interest of Rivers people? The Yorubas will say, Agbedo. I doubt that will happen. So as long as all of these issues are still there, it's still going to be a cat and mouse race. And until we get to a point where we don't have godfathers reign supreme in our affairs and our politics, the people will not be free. Because it's also, and the case will constantly be about the godfathers and their godsons at the expense of the people, no matter what we say. I rest my case on all these points.
Thank you very much.